As I'm sure most of you are aware, arts programs in schools all across the country are being cut every day as unnecessary spending. However, a study by the National Association for State Arts Agencies says that 93% of Americans believe that an art education is necessary for a complete education. Being a part of my high school's band program for 4 years, I can tell you that it provided me with some of the greatest life lessons and many memories and friends that I will cherish forever. But besides these memories and camaraderie that a band program or an art program provides its students, the effects it has on their education is on a much larger scope than that. Today I'd like to talk to you about why we need arts programs in our schools, what we can do to keep them from being cut, and some benefits it has on our society as a whole. Some may ask why we need arts programs. What can my student gain from an arts program that they cannot gain from an everyday education? It is questions like these that cause arts programs to be cut in schools all across the country. Arts programs help expose students to new careers that they might not ever have heard of had it not been for their school arts program. Music education, art, cooking, the list goes on. If you don't expand students' horizons, they will never learn to think outside the box and choose a career that they truly love. Several studies released by the National Association for State Boards of Education have shown that arts education has a direct correlation with improved schoolwork. Reading and math become less difficult as students learn to read music. There are constantly studies being performed that show the benefits of arts programs in schools. A national educational longitudinal study performed shows that music students scored much higher on standardized tests than non-music students. A 2004 study by the Rand Corporation shows that arts programs increase motivation, concentration, confidence, and teamwork among its students. Even though these are obvious benefits, arts programs are still being cut all across the country. A less direct result of this is a loss of teaching jobs, according to the National Educators Association. What can we do to keep our arts programs from being cut? It is important that we make our voices heard. There are people lobbying every day for supportive arts programs in schools. It is important to show our schools and our educators that we find arts programs important, thus they will be less likely to cut them from our educational programs. Several states have already passed referendums that mandate arts programs in schools all across the country, according to the Arts Education Partnership. It's important to instill in children early a desire to learn about the arts. If a parent starts their child in music lessons at a young age, they might grow up to resent them for it. However, it might awaken something in them that they never would have otherwise experienced, a desire and need to express themselves through art. This is what we must do to create the next great generation of artists. It is important to raise community awareness about the importance of art programs. Just because a person doesn't have a child in the school system, it still affects the community that they live in. More community awareness means more support for arts programs. If we fight to keep our arts programs in our schools, we're setting ourselves up for a brighter future. We ideally want our children to grow up to be confident, poised individuals. Art programs can help do that. If a child grows up performing for an audience or displaying their art to hundreds of people, they'll grow up with a sense of accomplishment or pride in what they do, and among other things, it will help save countless jobs. We need teachers to teach the art, and without the artist, there could be no art. The Rand Corporation says that there has been a decline in publishing of art across all media in the past 10 years. What can you do? It is important, like I said before, to make your voice heard. If you love something, you have to fight for it. We need to let our government and our schools know that we find arts programs important. These are the reasons for programs like the Arts Education Partnership, among others. It is important to raise awareness through not only our words but our actions. Volunteer. If you have a talent, showcase it. Perform for an audience. Make the arts important to people. Even locally, the Paducah Symphony Orchestra is hosting summer camps for students who have a desire to learn about the arts. It's up to us to save our arts programs. If we all spoke up and did something, the movement would be massive. Let's make our future brighter today.